Hi guys, this is Play It Again. I'm Ginger.
And I'm Mike. And Ginger and I have been noticing our steadily increasing subscriber count and appreciating it. And we wanted to do something a little fun to celebrate.
We just hit 35K, guys.
35K.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thanks for following along with our fun, discovering new music. And
it's been great so far. We're hoping to keep going. Keep it going, guys.
Keep it going, for sure.
So,
to celebrate Ginger, what are we doing?
Okay, so I got into a discussion with some of my Twitter peeps a couple of weeks back. We were talking about album cover art.
Oh, great topic.
It really is. And everybody who's familiar with this channel knows I have an aesthetic eye. The visuals are a big deal for me. So album cover art has always been one of those kind of niche favorites of mine.
Yeah.
Pay close attention to. And I was reminded of that discussion when we did the reaction video to the Unleash the Archers, The Wind That Shapes the Land. I made mention at the time of this fabulous album cover art.
Yeah,
right?
It's really good.
The 70s sci-fi aesthetic, which is a big deal for me.
Yeah, the loss of the 12-inch album, the shrinking and sidelining of good album art has been a sad thing the last.
It's true.
40 years.
It's not quite the same when it's on a little, like a 6-inch CD, right?
A little half-inch icon on your playlist.
It's true. So, I decided to come up with a list. Some of our album cover art favorites.
Several lists, in fact.
Yes. Not an exhaustive list, guys, because this video cannot be 6 hours long.
No, it can't. Nobody will watch that.
So there's going to be some that are going to be left off, some that you will think will be grievously left off. But
Dark Side of the Moon.
But we had to narrow the list down as best we could. So we picked a bunch that really, really spoke to us. So certainly we want to hear what some of your favorites are, because everybody has a way.
Some of these are iconic and some of them aren't. We're not picking things because they're iconic. We're picking them because we like them.
Yes, sometimes for various reasons. And we'll explain some of those.
Yeah.
But we picked 10 of mine, 10 of Mike's, 5 pairs of albums that go together for one reason or another, and then 10 honorable mentions. So we got a total of 35.
Yep.
To celebrate our 35,000.
All right. Let's go, shall we?
Yeah. First one.
All right.
Oh, in no order.
Right.
Okay. Because it was hard enough to narrow it down to 10 without also trying to figure out order of importance. So.
Okay. First one. Age of Plastic by the Buggles.
This has got to be, sorry guys, this is Mike's choice. It's got to be the ugliest album cover ever.
It's not pretty. It's true. But man, it really speaks to me of the time, right?
It does.
Like those glasses say 1979 louder than anything I've ever heard.
It's true.
That digital font, speaks of the
alarm clock font.
The digitization, the plasticization of the world that was going on around then, and continues. The colors just pop, that blue and yellow and red.
It legitimately.
It's not pretty, but it's fantastic.
Yeah. He's absolutely right. I agree with all of those things. Visually, it hurts my eyes so bad. But it is all of those things for all of the reasons that you state, which is, if you ask me, a bit of an indictment of the late 70s, right? Like the 70s aesthetic, guys.
I love the jack plugged into his neck.
No.
All right. Well, we'll get it off your screen so you
Next,
can stop looking.
Yay.
Oh, because this is easier to watch.
Okay, you have a point. Rage Against the Machine. I chose this one not only because of the iconic imagery of it, and for those of you who don't know, this is a not live picture, but a legit picture of a news event that occurred. This was a Buddhist monk who set himself on fire in the streets of Saigon to protest the persecution of Buddhists by the Roman Catholic South Vietnamese government. And
that is real Rage Against the Machine.
Indeed. That is putting your money where your mouth is. For real. That's legit. So not only is the image itself, to make
it's heartbreaking
fire
and powerful.
So vivid without color really says something. And that one hits home really hard, and it legit speaks to the rage.
It does. All right. A little easier to watch.
Now I just want to go sailing.
So this one's been a long time favorite of mine. I've had this album, Standing on a Beach by The Cure, on vinyl for years anyway, maybe a little more. And every time I pull it out, captivated by this, the tones of the black and white in his face, and the shadows around his eyes, and the wrinkles and the look on his face.
It's a great picture.
What is this guy's backstory? He's
intriguing.
Like, it's a fantastic portrait.
He looks like he's 1,000 years old.
He does.
Right, like,
it's
captivating. You just
captivating.
want to sit and listen to his stories.
Yeah, this one really, it's simple. It's a guy in the foreground and a beach in the background. Little rocks there. But man, is it captivating.
Yeah, it's true. He looks like he's looking right through you.
He does. I love them. All right, Ginger.
Next mine. Did we pause? No. We can cut all that out. We got the Kick Inside. Kate Bush, who we both really, really love.
Yeah, this is another album I've had for a long time.
Not only is this a totally ass-kicking album, absolutely love Kate Bush, but I love the imagery too. This particular album...
I don't think I've ever heard Kate Bush's music described as ass-kicking before.
She'll kick your ass.
You're a unique individual, Ginger.
Guilty.
That's why I like you.
I don't think anybody would say otherwise, that's for sure. So apparently this album, I didn't know until today because I looked it up, had 6 different album covers depending on where it was released. A whole bunch of bands do that. So this was the Japanese version. It's my favorite because I really like old samurai art and anime art. And this kind of encapsulates all of that with some really cool colors.
Yeah.
So aside from it also being Kate Bush, which is...
Kate Bush flying on a kite. That's cool.
Who doesn't love that? Who doesn't love that? Indeed.
And I got Grace Jones. There's a very different woman for you from Kate Bush, I think.
Very different and also unique in the same way.
Okay, first of all, it would break me to stand like that. And I'm impressed.
It would break most people.
I'm impressed by her ability to hold that pose. I love the microphone being way out there. For some reason that
with
really...
Grace Jones's voice, it would still reach.
Yeah, right? But you've got that powder blue and the orange and the color of her skin and the gleam of the... What a fantastic melding of colors and study of the human form.
She doesn't look real.
She's not wearing much, but it's not an erotic thing. It
legit looks like art. It's like sculpture.
Art. She is a human sculpture right there.
She looks like she's carved out of polished marble.
So cool. Love this cover. I'm not a huge Grace Jones fan. I think I heard one song of hers. It was okay.
Yeah, but nobody can doubt that Grace Jones leaves an impression.
Fantastic cover.
Big time. This one's mine.
Go figure.
Blink-182, Enema of the State. Kind of speaks for itself, I'd say.
Yes, it does.
Not only did I have a few hot dreams of this girl, this nurse, I gotta tell you.
That's a hot nurse, no lie.
I love the sauciness in this photo. I love the cheek in the whole title and the photo. It's kind of, this is my personality all in kind of one picture, right?
But blonder.
Yeah. She's saucy and cheeky, a little bit dangerous.
Just like you.
She looks like she'd be a lot of fun or really, really bad time. One or the other.
One or the other. Ginger likes to roll the dice.
Yes.
Oh.
This list would not have been complete without this one.
Love this cover. First of all, it's a callback to a great Elvis Presley cover.
Mm-hmm.
And it's that, and then it's so much better. The triangle he makes, the figure in the middle of that, on top of the colored letters in front of the black and white, and then the drama in that guitar poised to be smashed. I am horrible with art and photography and imagery, but that one is so good. Even I feel it. Even I go, oh yeah, that's a composition that's doing that.
Yeah.
Like it's
It
amazing.
takes that image, the Elvis Presley image, and it does what these guys did best. It gives it the finger.
It really does.
Like the whole idea, they distorted the pose, and then I'm going to smash this guitar.
No smiling Elvis.
No.
No.
That's what these guys did best, right? They're all about that. So This kind of encapsulates their whole attitude.
Great cover.
Yeah, for real. Epica. So, guys, it was hard to choose one. This band knows their art, right? Like, their album covers are always so rich and like fantasy and texture. It was really, really hard to pick one. But I like this one best. A lot of the pictures that we chose were kind of black and white.
Yeah.
They have little splashes of color.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's an aesthetic that kind of screams out to me. It catches my eye all the time. But the juxtaposition of all of these pieces, right? There's a ton of little Easter eggs in this image. They're all kind of, the album name is Requiem for the Indifferent. And I think it kind of speaks to the time right now, but in a way that the picture also does, right? It kind of jumbles all these odd things together, mismatched, almost like, I don't know, the purity of the skin of the almost looks like a baby, and then all these harsh other images around it.
Yeah,
it really says something.
It's cool. Yeah, for sure. All right, I've gone for Pure Sexy.
Oh, this was a joint one, guys, because we both had this on our list.
Yeah,
my list was too long, so I had to pare it down.
I got to keep it on mine.
I was not going to let this not be on the list.
You got to know I like a sexy redhead.
I like to think so.
And I love cars, and there's one sketched in there.
It's hard to see.
I know you guys are all just distracted by the bodysuit on the redhead there, but just it's so a classic pinup kind of style, right? And I know you're big on that.
Yeah, I collect pinup art, guys. I'm a huge fan of old pinup art, and pinup artists. So this one has always been, if I was going to pick an all-time favorite, this would probably be it.
Nice.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's great. It's got retro kitsch, even from 40 years ago, this was retro kitsch.
It's true, it was. It was.
Kind of cool and sexy.
I think I had that bodysuit.
I'm sure you did. You do.
I picked Asia. So here we go back into my 70s sci-fi art, which I love.
I miss those vans, man.
I had a neighbor with one of those vans. It had like this mostly naked woman on it. She had this big serpent wrapped around her and mountains and wolves in the background. Oh yeah. Me as like a 10-year-old child walking past this house, it was mesmerizing. This van. I had no idea if he was a creep or anything, but it was always caught my eye every time. I always liked that. It's just everything about the colors, right? And the whole. I love anything that speaks to fantasy, and I can just imagine riding this serpent.
Colors. Fantastic.
Yeah. I know very little about Asia or their music, to be honest.
I love it.
Yeah, I like that one, but this album cover always caught my eye.
The Boss. So
talk about icons.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge Bruce Springsteen fan. I like a couple of his songs. I mean, he's done enough in the last 45 years. He's probably done something you like, right?
Mm-hmm.
But and we're not American.
Nope.
But I don't know. This one catches me somehow. It's the posture, the pose, right? Like that blue collar swagger,
confidence
pose. The way the stripes picked up in the red of the cap in his pocket.
Mm-hmm.
I have a hard time verbalizing what it is that makes it jump out, but it really does jump out.
Yeah. The thing is, especially in these days, this album, Bruce Springsteen kind of cultivated this perfect image of the everyman, right? Like hardworking, decent, honest, right? And that spoke, especially at the time, to a very large segment of the people who wanted somebody who exemplified that.
Yep.
As it turns out, in the intervening years, that's not so much the way he was, or he's just not so much that way now. But I would be hard pressed, I think, to find a single person who wouldn't see this album cover and know exactly what it is. Yep. Right? It's so enmeshed and
I think part of it's the stark simplicity of the colors. It's red, it's white, and that's it. Good
Everybody recognizes Bruce's ass. I picked Kula Shaker. I know very little about this band. I've never been big on their music, but I have always, even from the very beginning when this album got got put out, been really kind of just pulled in by this album cover. Mostly because the colors are really cool, but also I've always really enjoyed sitting there trying to pick out all the faces. There's all these really cool iconic faces in there. And until today, I had no idea that all of these choices were chosen because they have a relation to the letter K, which is a weird thing to focus on, but for them it was a big deal.
Hey, they're cooler with a K.
But the combination of the Soviet kind of propaganda poster imagery and the Eastern kind of imagery all together mashed in was a cool little juxtaposition. Yeah. And I've always really enjoyed kind of picking out there's the Kaiser.
There's Karl Marx.
Karl Marx. They even have the number 11 apparently because K is the 11th letter of the alphabet.
Why not?
Sure.
Yeah. Very nice. All right. The Smiths. Okay.
Good one.
That shade of green on the white with the gray tones. I don't know. I really like the contrast of that green. It pops.
It really does pop.
And the repurposing of that iconic Vietnam War photo that originally said "Make war, not love." So I was kind of giving the hippies a bit of a middle finger. And now Morrissey's turned it into
hippies the middle finger.
into a vegetarian slogan, which is twisting it entirely again. So it's kind of clever. I don't know, the green and the way the green is just stark on the left there like that, and then the symmetrical repetition of that photo.
One thing the Smiths always did really good was kind of stark and simple, but compelling.
Yep.
Right? Everything they did was like that. Even the few music videos they did were like that.
Yep.
Right? And I mean, it's not a message we get behind because we're carnivores
over
here.
Feed me the beef.
But definitely, it's even people that don't know who the Smiths are usually recognize this album cover.
Yeah, it's pretty iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah. What'd you do? Oh, you did Boston.
Of course I did. When we started talking about 70s sci-fi album art, there was no way that this album was not going to make the list. This is probably the top of the 70s sci-fi album art.
Pretty epic.
Yeah.
Pretty epic. Those
mostly for the colors.
Yeah. Fantastic
right?
colors.
Like I'm like a fish. It's simple, guys. Put all these bright colors in there and you got me really fast. But also at the time when this album came out, or at least when it came to my attention, I'd only recently also watched Close Encounters. So it's very reminiscent of that final epic scene, right?
Yep.
So it's just kind of, it all sort of
means something.
It all means something.
Well played.
Yeah.
Oh, the iconic Queen 2. I mean, I don't know how many times this pose has been imitated by other bands, by parodies in any kind of format you choose to name.
Imitation is a sign.
But the light and shade, the dramatic lighting on their faces. Mm-hmm. And I love the way Freddie's hands kind of form like a base and into a frame around them. Yeah, just an excellent photo.
Yeah, it's not many people that look good with a down light, but this looks good.
It looks great.
Those angular cheekbones. So.
This is a different kind of great.
I have two very, far apart poles of the things that catch my eye aesthetically. You have things that are brightly colored and sort of rich in texture and imagery, and they catch your eye because they're beautiful. And then there's the things that catch your eye because they are ugly, right? Like just kind of jarring. And this meets that mark for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty jarring.
Prodigy, by their nature, was always very jarring. They were like Rage Against the Machine.
They were pretty angry.
Yeah. That's what they did best. I love their stuff. It was hard to pick one of theirs. Actually, there was a couple on the list that I had to pare back. But this one was the most compelling just because you can't, if you were like me in the record store and you're flipping through all those albums, there's no way you're going to hit that one and not stop and pause and look at it and go, what the heck is that? Even if you don't buy it, because it's that compelling. And music for the jilted generation. They were talking about us, I think.
I think so.
Even though I think it applies more now. Just saying.
Ah, need I say more?
Back in the day when women were witches.
Right? No, I mean, huge admiration and teenage crush for Stevie Nicks. I mean,
Cute. Teenage.
oh, come
Still
on, she's
now.
like 75 now.
Okay,
Not the
still
same
now.
lady. It's not the same lady.
He still has a crush now.
But no, I mean the pose, the bird of prey, the color, the light is casting on the dress. It's just cool, and you're such a pioneer. I mean, who was a bigger solo female rocker, Stevie Nicks, back in the 70s?
Well, I suppose people would
Nobody.
argue people like Janis Joplin and whatnot, but I'll be honest, Stevie
No.
Nicks is it for us, I think.
Yeah, I mean, it's just an iconic album, like an iconic
Yeah.
trailblazing album. A great cover to do it some justice.
Yeah, the thing is about Stevie Nicks is she always, and you can see it even in this picture, she always had that look like a siren's look, right? It wanted to pull you in and you were a little bit afraid. And it was dangerous. You knew it was a little bit dangerous, but you also thought, oh, I bet it'll be really fun. She always had that look, wrong. Right? She's just thrilling and dangerous.
Trip, but I bet I'd like it.
That's why you're with me.
That's right. Ginger's cheating now.
This is my cheat. One of my cheats. Yeah. Tool is my favorite band. Everybody who knows this channel knows that. And it was impossible to choose one of their album covers, so I just chose them all. And I mean, they're all in the same kind of theme, right? Their album cover art is done by their guitar. Well, most of it is done, or at least directed by their guitar player, Adam Jones. He's an artist in his own right and a photographer. And the imagery is always really compelling. They use a lot of things like 3D holographic images. They even had an album that had like magnifying glasses built in that it made the picture change when you looked through it. I used to buy a CD and then it's pages and pages and pages of cool, really art.
Lots of like psychiatry.
Yeah.
Jungian or something.
I believe Maynard's big into Jung, so a lot of it looks like Jungian imagery to me. I don't have confirmation of that, but from what I know of Jung, because I've read some of that, it all kind of speaks a lot to that for me, especially. And also, I mean, you could spend hours if you put on Fear Inoculum and then take a look at some of these pictures, and you don't even need mushrooms. Right?
I don't need them. Yes.
Good
BC
choice.
Boys, Licensed to Ill. Okay, not a huge BC's fan. I love Sabotage. I like a couple other tracks.
How could you not love Sabotage?
I don't think it's possible.
Almost the best song ever.
But I am a huge fan of Air. Yeah. This album cover just jumped out at it the first time I saw it. I've seen other albums with planes, and usually it'll be like the band on the tarmac standing beside the plane, or you'll see the plane kind of front on. But I was really interested to just take the aft end of the airplane.
It's just the ass end.
It is just the ass end, but there's lots going on there, right? Between the horizontal stabilizers and you got engine and then there and lots going on, and a really unusual just chunk of an airplane to use. This looks really cool. Yeah,
you know what? This kind of speaks to what the BC Boys kind of did best when they first came out. Right, we were young. I remember most people kind of looked at them like they were a bit of a joke. Right? Like that first song.
Fight for Your Right to Party wasn't a joke?
How could you not? So I'm sure there was people there that thought they were going to be a bit of a flash in the pan, and they did nothing but prove everybody completely wrong, because they are the consummate businessmen. They are supreme in their field for sure, and the influence that they had on the culture was gigantic, right? Fact. And they were so good. They groundbreaking in many different ways. So, and this is a kind of a good image for that, because it took something conventional and made it look a little unconventional.
And kind of badass, to be honest.
Yeah, for sure. It's not just any airplane, right? It's the Beastie Boys airplane.
Oh, Ginger's cheating again.
I knew. I don't follow rules very well. So, It's impossible also to pick a Journey album, just one, because they're all kind of in the same theme. So I picked a few that almost all of their albums had this scarab on it, right? So you could have put all of them, but they would not fit on the screen. But we're going back to that 70s sci-fi art that I love with all those colors. And I looked really hard because I said, there's got to be a reason that they put that scarab on all of these album covers. It's got to mean something.
Yeah.
Well, apparently, probably not.
Nothing they've admitted.
I couldn't find anything but conjecture about what this scarab means.
That was important in Egypt, right?
Yeah, so it's a symbol for the Egyptian god of creation and rebirth.
Oh, well, that makes sense.
Right?
To me.
It does make sense in context of the images and Journey and a lot of their music. So maybe that's it, but nobody's saying. Right? No, they're just going to keep it a big mystery. We're going to open a tomb one day in 1,000 years, and there's going to be like a book there, a little journal.
Steve Perry's
where
journal.
Steve Perry's written in, scarab means nothing.
And that's it for our list of 10 individual choices each.
Yes. Next one, we're gonna go through our 5 pairs.
Yes.
So these are our joint picks. Because what happened was when Mike and I were making our list, we noticed we had a couple that kind of overlapped where we liked the same band or something that matched up together, but not quite the same image.
Yeah.
So the first one in this is not exactly the same band.
Well,
they're synonymous in our heads.
Same songwriter, yeah. They're both songs of Jim Steinman. I picked Jim Steinman's Bad for Good.
Yep.
And Ginger picked the iconic Bat Out of Hell.
Yes.
Performed by Meatloaf, but they're all Jim Steinman songs.
It's true, but you can't, I don't know. Maybe it's just in this house, but I can't think of one of these albums without thinking of the other.
Yep.
They almost look like two sides of a coin, right?
Absolutely. The Bat Out of Hell came out sooner. But obviously when Jim Steinman put out his solo album, the idea here is the heaven to the hell when you look at the cover, right? The dude's got wings
it's
even.
So
it's like
friggin' obvious, right?
And I stared at that album for hours as a kid. The art around his guitar and everything. It's a little bit small here, maybe depending on the screen you're looking at. But that just fascinated me how cool the guitar was and how it looked like a cartoon, but real.
Yeah.
So realistic at the same time. And the wings, like you see the muscle and I love that color of blue.
Yeah, I know you do.
So
you have a
fantastic.
few choices that have that color in the background. Even the Nirvana one.
Yep.
It's the same, pretty much the same color.
Spoiler alert.
Oh. Sorry. We'll get there. But anyway, your album choice is so you. The same way that my album choice is so me, right? Because
well, it is red.
No, it's not even that. Come on, anybody who knows me, if they're gonna choose an album cover that encapsulates my soul, it would be this one, right? Because this is legit.
Ginger's going like a bat out of hell all the time.
Yep. Yeah, on the edge of killing myself for somebody else every single day, right?
It's true.
But always going to be a good time. At least I think so.
I think so too. All right.
Next.
Nightwish.
Our list would not be complete on album cover art without Nightwish albums.
It's true.
There was actually a few. It was hard to choose. Again, just the whole fantasy, but I like how it's dark. It's all dark, right?
Yep.
This kind of speaks to us.
Yeah. I chose Once, and just something about the way that angel is draped. And the indigo purple kind of color in the back. You know, it's not black. It's subtly not black, right? But that world weary angle.
Funny. I have a thought about this.
Tell me.
So you loved that Queen is Dead.
Yep.
The Smiths' Queen is Dead.
Yep.
And you tell me that story all the time about how your mother worried about you when you were a teenager.
Listen to I Know It's Over.
Yeah. Oh, mother, I can feel the soil falling over my head. And I think of that song when I see your album cover there. Because it feels the same kind of weary, melancholy.
I get a different feel from it. But I see where you're going. Yeah, for sure.
I picked mine because it's a little bit, it's has that tinge of could be fun, could be deadly, right? When I was a kid, one of the first movies that I vividly remember watching was an old horror movie. I don't even know anybody else who's ever seen it, called Something Wicked This Way Comes.
Mm-hmm.
And it was about this traveling carnival where the guy who ran
now
it...
I know why you don't like clowns.
Oh, there's lots of reasons not to like clowns, okay? That's not the only reason. But the guy who ran this carnival was like the devil or something. It's a terrible movie. It was terrifying. It had some very terrifying scenes in it. And when I see this cover for Imaginarium, I think of that movie. It has the same kind of feel, that sort of menacing, like something that should be fun, but will probably kill you. I always get that feel from it. It's thrilling and tempting all at the same time.
Okay. The inimitable Pink Floyd.
Yes, they had a way with their imagery. And you know what? A lot of people are going to mash us because we didn't choose Dark Side of the Moon. But guys, these ones are way better when it comes to imagery, I think.
More interesting.
I think so.
Yeah, I think Dark Side of the Moon is iconic, but that's all it is. It's kind of an icon.
Yeah.
Right?
We never were big
so
on
simple.
Modern art anyway, right?
No, but
like
it's
abstract.
so simple. It almost, I mean, like an icon in the sense of just representative. And,
monolithic.
And like minimalist representation of something. These are a little more detailed, a little more interesting.
Visually interesting. Yeah. So I picked, I can't even remember the name of this
Division Bell.
Thank you. Totally left my head. I picked it because it's very cool looking. Mm-hmm. I'm a bit of a fan of Salvador Dali, and this reminds me a little, not quite, it's not quite as trippy as Salvador Dali, but it gives me that feel a little. It's just very cool. Visually cool.
It is, and I chose Wish You Were Here. The contrast, of course, jumps out. This guy's on fire, but there he is, calmly shaking hands.
Yeah, as you would.
Yeah, just and it shocks the brain in a very interesting way, and I really like that. Who
hasn't felt that way going to work one day?
I know I have. No offense,
I constantly go to work on fire.
Both good, though. Both good. Roxy Music.
There was a couple.
So you chose Roxy Music from 1974.
Yes, because I love pinup girls and I love pinup art. And that is very much in that vein. It's got that sweet and saucy kind of feel to it that I love.
Yeah. Nice.
And we love Roxy Music.
Oh, for sure. I chose Flesh and Blood. I mean, I always like a beautiful woman, and many Roxy Music album covers have beautiful women on them. But much as with the London Calling album by The Clash, where that guitar is poised, it's the dynamic tension of those spears cocked back.
Yeah.
It really grabs
me. The wind in her hair.
Yeah. That's what really grabs me about this one over other Roxy Music album covers.
What was that other one we had on the list? The Country Life?
Country Life.
Country Life. That one almost made it, guys.
Very, very saucy.
It is very saucy. It was a hard call.
Yeah, for sure. All right. And the last set. Good old Supertramp.
You knew this was going to make the list, right? I love this Waitress Babe. This is one of my all-time favorite album covers.
Breakfast in America.
Yeah, she has that sass.
She really does.
I really do love the sass.
It's cool.
It really just goes down to that.
Yeah, and I chose Crime of the Century. I always loved just those hands on that prison bar grill.
It looks like
space.
Superman 3.
It does look like Superman 3, which is kind of a fun thing. But, I was always into science fiction and stuff. So the space backdrop and then very cool, hands and the Superman 3 fun. Yeah, just a good album
don't open
cover.
that General Zod's in there.
Yeah. I like both of those, actually. I grew up with both of those in the house on vinyl. And I like them both.
Yeah. Can't argue.
No. So 5 pairs.
Yes. Next.
Related albums.
Honorable mentions.
Honorable mentions coming up.
Okay. So.
Here we go. The honorable mentions.
This is the honorable mentions. These are ones that wanted to be on our list and just couldn't quite fit. Or we didn't have a whole lot to say, but felt like they still needed to be included. So.
This one shocked me as a child.
Why?
These dudes were all peeing on that thing and they want to know who's next.
They're peeing on it?
See the wet spots and they're all doing their flies and says,
God,
who's next?
I didn't even notice that. Dirty little buggers.
All right, enough said. The Who is Dirty Little Buggers.
Oh, this was your choice.
Another one
I know.
I picked. I've had this on vinyl since high school.
Mm-hmm.
And the title track, 5 Miles Out. This plane goes through a threatening storm, and then it comes out, and the end is all uplifting. And this cover speaks to it perfectly to me. All those dark clouds on the left, and then the sunshine up ahead.
For anybody who doesn't know yet, Mike is a huge Mike Oldfield fan.
I love Mike Oldfield. I love the title track on this album, and I think the cover speaks to the feeling of that track perfectly.
It's a very cool cover. It's true.
And I love airplanes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's on all scores.
Yep.
I chose this one because it didn't seem right to not have, firstly, an ABBA album on the list somewhere, but also because, much like the Buggles cover, this album cover so speaks to its time. Oh, not only are the colors really cool, it's got that sci-fi feel that everybody knows that I love, but like the outfits. And okay, my ex-husband's aunt and uncle had wedding photos that looked just like this, with that blue laser beam going through the photo. And the whole time, every time I went to go visit them and I saw this thing on the wall, I was like, oh my God. That's so dated and beautiful at the same time.
Oh boy.
Mm-hmm. This one's another iconic one.
Yep.
It just didn't seem right to leave this one off the list.
No, it's a fantastic album cover. Yeah,
it screams at you. It's so subtle and screams all at the same time. Right? That's all that needs to be said.
Well said.
Metallica covers, it was hard to pick one, guys, because they're all so good. These guys know their audience, and the imagery is amazing. I picked this one because the colors are so rich, and just the whole, it looks like blood, right? That catches your eye. And I like the sentiment. Another one that was hard to pick from, Amon Amarth, their album covers like Metallica.
Did they hire Conan to model?
It looks like a bunch of my Twitter friends, actually. I have a ton of Twitter friends that legit, this is their aesthetic.
Fitness guys.
Yeah, fitness and like old biking types. And yeah, so this, I picked this one because it's my spirit. This guy's my spirit animal right there. Black Sabbath. We are not fans. Not really.
I like Ozzy more than Ginger does.
Yeah, but this cover is undeniably compelling, right? And Mob Rules kind of feels a little bit
timely.
Mm-hmm. This is a very old album, I'm sure, but it speaks to the time, to be sure.
Indeed. Oh, so nice.
Yeah. This one, I gotta say, guys, I don't even know this band. We have a Sonos system in the house, and the Accu Radio is one of the channels that I use on a regular basis. And a song came on, and I thought, oh, that sounds really good. And I looked on my phone to see who it was, and this album cover screamed out at me, and I was like,
contrast is amazing. The colors are amazing.
Print this and put it in a frame and put it on the wall. It's fantastic. I love the volcano with that's an iceberg underneath. Yep. It's just amazing. If that doesn't catch your eye, I don't know what will.
Iconic.
Yeah.
And for me, the colors. The shades of blue.
Everybody knows this baby.
Baby chasing a buck.
It's true.
And, for me, okay, the baby. All right, cool. Yeah, I see what you're doing.
Yeah.
But for me, it's all about the color. It really is. Like, I love color.
Yeah. And
I love this one. Just the weird Victorian feel for something the late 20th century, early 21st century.
These guys were good at that, right? Where they kind of mashed things up, right? They had, I think even the music had a Victorian feel to it in many ways.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah. Just a kind of a little indulgent richness.
I love the title too.
Yeah.
All around
this
cool.
one deserves to be there for sure.
That's it.
Yeah, so that's where we ended up, guys. That's 35 albums.
Plus a little cheating.
Plus a few cheating on my... Oh. Yeah, well, like I said, I don't follow rules very well. But I know that you guys will have arguments about our choices. And I know you guys will have ones to add.
And you know what? You're not even always wrong.
No.
There's going to be stuff that you guys put in the comments and I go,
I
yeah.
should have put that
How did
one
I
on the
forget?
list.
Or why didn't I find that? Or I've never seen that and it's fantastic. So
just wait till we reach 100K, guys. Then you're going to have to set aside 3 hours.
Don't let her threaten you like that.
But we definitely want to hear your ideas about.
Yeah, maybe we'll do a follow-up with the stuff in the comments
that's a great idea.
That most spoke to us.
Yeah, you guys give us a whole bunch of ideas and we can do another video where we do a mashup of all of your choices, because that would be fabulous. That's a great idea. Yeah, send me some pictures. Send me pictures of you guys with your favorite albums.
Yeah,
if
cool.
you got them, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
So anyway, thanks for signing up as subscribers. 35K is a significant amount of people who are interested in listening to us ramble.
Yep.
It is not lost on us how amazing that is.
Thank you. Thank you.
It's a surprise every single day. We're grateful that you spend the time. We love doing it with you guys, and hopefully you enjoyed at least some of that. Hi, guys. I bet she makes friends easy.
Yeah.
It really does. This whole thing is so painfully 80s. It has an epic quality.
I'm jealous of your cigarette.
That's impressive.
Why are they throwing the furniture?
It's not rational.
I have never been able to work a pole this good.
That dude is my spirit animal. Nice.
Happy ending. Hi, guys.
And we're going to have a little fun today.
I feel like we're in for something really good. I love cheese.
These guys are smooth.
I don't believe in anybody.
Let's do it.
I'm super excited today.
More cowbell. Right on.
Her voice could punch you in the face. I love this one.
Jive turkey.
Who are you calling Jive Turkey?
You.